Good evening to you all. Welcome to the II Racing League Formula 2 race at Monza. Good evening Aquarius and Rosie Blois. All the drivers, good luck during this qualifying and of course sprint race and feature race. After the qualifying we don't have a 5-minute break and we're going straight into the sprint race, which will take us 11 laps around the Monza circuit. After the sprint race we will have a 5-minute break before we go into the feature race, which will take us 15 laps around the circuit. At the moment we are waiting for the drivers to join the lobby. There is our 12th driver of the evening, the Bullet. We got 2 other drivers joining the lobby. Drivers at the moment. selecting the high-tech, and all the drivers are readying up so we can go racing. Today is the third race of the week. Tuesday we had the no assist race. On Thursday the AT1. Today we got the Formula 2, and tomorrow we will end the week with the AT2 tier of the II Racing League. So let's see what qualifying has to bring us. We saw it on the whole week that Snacks is very fast, but is there anybody else who can snatch the pole position for the feature race? Because in a sprint race we have a reverse grid. Well, who would be the first driver that is coming out on track? They all have one set of tires. With dry qualifying. The weather report says that there are changeable conditions in the sprint race and that we have a dry feature race. Let's see who's the first driver that is coming out on track. Looks like all the drivers are waiting because they only have one set of tires for this session. And we hearing a driver is coming out, and the first driver on track is Lil Sam. It's pretty dusty on track, and he cannot make turn 1. Few pieces with him, and let's see what he can do. We're going on board with him on this outlet. Still the only driver on track, no other drivers are following him. Got 2 DRS zones on this track. The second DRS zone is following this corner. Ascari chicane. Easy to lose that over there into this straight going to the Parabolica. This corner is so important to get enough traction out of this corner and enough speed into this long straight. Starting his lap. This very slow chicane. We can lose a lot of time but also gain a lot of time. We're going into this fast section of this track, but the whole track is pretty fast. Into the next chicane. Running up to the Lesmos. The first Lesmo. Good on the inside. Great traction coming out of the corner. And into the second DRS zone. Running up to Ascari. That corner pretty good. But second part of the chicane. What the first time is going to be set by Lil Sam, and it's 1:29.4. See that Greg is also on a hot lap, putting on a purple sector 1. Going into the Lesmo 1. Within the lines, so he's still valid and see what he can do in the second sector. And he's putting a purple sector 2. That's a good exit off the Ascari chicane. Not a lot of drivers on track. Into the Parabolica, into the straight, and Greg puts on 1:29.1. Also on track we have Platy, who's reserving tonight. The yellow flag is for, but still following Platy on his flying lap. We see Ross, I believe, is coming out on his out lap, and Platy is setting his first lap in a 1:29.5 and puts him in third position. And on track we have Ross and Chelsea on an out lap. With only 3 drivers putting in a time at the moment, with 22 minutes left in this session. First driver who's going for his first flying lap of this session, Ross. So let's see what he can do. little bit too far off track, so he invalidated his out lap, but he's still safe for his flying lap, of course. It's getting a little bit busier around track with a few drives on an out lap, but I believe that won't be a problem for Ross at this moment in his flying lap. With Platty going a little bit faster on a 129.0. Chelsea going into his flying lap. To the second last mode, stays within the lines and still valid. Pretty close together, but we'll still have to wait 20 minutes to see who is getting pole. To the Parabolica goes Ross, and would the time be? And a 128.5, and he's going a half a second faster than Platty. That's pretty good lap. Chelsea backed off out of his lap. Looks like Patch maybe backed off, but yeah, he backed off out of this lap. Chelsea did a very slow first lap in a 157.5. So let's see what he can do in his second lap. His next getting out of the way. Everybody, thank you for watching, of course. Getting a little bit busier on track with the drivers. Very few drivers already putting a lap in the first part of this qualifying. What would the time be that Chelsea is going to set? Should be a lot quicker than the last lap, and he puts in a 129.9, and it puts him at the moment in 5th position. Tenten is also at the end of his first flying lap. See what the time is he's going to set, and he puts in the second time in a 128.7. Going on an outlap and the fastest lap set is Majestic with a 1:28.4, going about a half tenth of a second faster than Ross at the moment, who is on the outlap. So let's see if he can improve. Of course, we have a reverse grid for the sprint race, so pole position, the driver who gets pole position would have pole position for the feature race. Max is taking all the room that he can in the Parabolica and puts in the fourth time in a 1:28.8. Which drivers we're getting a lot of times in. Aquarius behind each other, and Aquarius puts in a 1:42.1. So I believe that he's going to go for another lap, of course, and let's see if he can go faster. On his flying lap. Corner good and have a good exit in under Qualy. What is the lap that George is going to set? Snacks is going into second place and George is going to third with a 1:28.5, and we're only 4,000th of a second between Snacks and Majestic at this moment, so that's so close, and it's pretty normal at this track, of course, so fast, so it can also all be very close together. Also getting back, and Mark is on the flying lap. Seconds for the second sector. It's in front didn't have any harm from the driver that's on a outlap. Few drivers are on outlap, some drivers are coming in. Didn't have the greatest exits of the Parabolica, but let's see what Blaise can do on his flying lap. He sets a purple sector 1. A little bit laggy, but three drivers on track, two drivers on the out left, 1010 and Lil Sam, and Bloisy is on the line left into the Ascari chicane. It's a pretty decent exit. Let's see what time he's going to put in. Lil Sam gets a pretty nice slipstream from his teammate. So will his teammate get out of the way? It looks like he's a little bit lagging. Looks like Lil Sam has a little bit of the slipstream. Validated his lap, and the bullet who didn't set a time is still in the pit. So at the moment we have one driver that didn't put in a time, the bullet. And first we have Majestic in a 128.494, Snacks in a 128.498. Closely followed by George in a 128.509, who's closely followed by 1010 in a 128.513, who's thereby followed closely by Ross in a 128.535, and then we have a little bit of a gap of 0.2 of a second to Deflated Wee, who's followed by 0.3 of Platty. Bloisy is followed closely by Bloisy, who's followed by Greg, and currently in 10th position is Aquarius. If that stays that way, he will be on pole for the sprint race. But we have still 8 minutes to go, and in the meantime 1010 is going fastest in a 128.3. So the track is really evolving and drivers are getting faster times at the moment. So let's see what the rest of this qualifying session brings us. And Platty retired. And I think that Platty has crashed his car. Of the position that he's in. Let's see if we can have a little bit of a look. Yes, Platty has lost his car and has retired from the session. So he can't improve on his time at the moment. So let's see which drivers are can improve and can get in front of him. Boris is getting in another flying lap, so let's see if he can improve his time. With Snacks also on a flying lap. Majestic on an out lap. The Semp is trying to get a little bit faster, he's also on a flying lap. Same is for Greg and Aquarius. And on an out lap is Chelsea. Still in the pit, the Bullet. Getting a little bit busier on track, so let's see which driver can improve on this set of tires and improve their starting position for the sprint and of course the feature race. Into the last 5 minutes of this session. Aquarius goes into 7th in a 1:28.8. And we have Majestic on his flying lap. Can he improve and attack the time of 10:10? Let's see what he can do in the first sector, and he's going a little bit faster in the first sector. He improved going into the Lesmo chicane, or Lesmo turn. His two right-handers, they are pretty quick, he can get a lot of time into the DRS zone. And can he improve in the second sector? What will Patch do? And he's 2/10 of a second faster in the second sector. So that should, like, Patch can get a 1:28.2. Let's see if he can get pole position back from 10:10. Lost a lot of time in the last sector where he cannot get a little faster than 10:10. And in the meantime, the Bullet has come out of the pit and he's on his out lap, and he's the only driver who didn't put in time at the moment. It's getting close, but he has enough time to get 2 laps in. So let's see what he can do. At the meantime, can George attack the front row and probably and maybe also the pole position. So let's see what he can do. Into the last corner, the Parabolica. And he don't finish his lap. So let's follow the Bullet on his first lap. His first flying lap. So can he attack the front row with 10:10 and Snacks going out on an out lap? To defend or attack the positions in front. The time the Bullet has the most fresh tires of them all. To the Ascari. Ross retired from the session. That he did it in the pit lane. So he thinks he cannot improve on his time. It's 1:28.5. And the Bullet in his first lap puts in a 1:28.7, which puts him in 7th position at this moment. So we got a few drivers on an outlap trying to improve, with Bloisy and a flying lap in the last part. And he puts himself in 9th position. And Chelsea retired, so I believe, yes, he crashed out of the session, but it's too bad, and that puts him in 14th. We got 10 at the moment in first, is setting his lap off. We got Snacks in front, I believe, yes. Deflated Wee is also on a flying lap, and he's a little bit faster. So can Deflated Wee attack the front row? And he's in 2nd place. But we still have a few drivers, and I believe that Aquarius. No, sorry, it's Greg that's the first one, and Greg can't improve. And I believe that we have. Yes, we have Snacks. Can Snacks improve and gets his 2nd place or pole position back into the Parabolica? Oh, and Snacks crashed out and couldn't improve. So, and 1010 is safe, I believe. Boris gets his 7th position back. As he goes into the pit, and there we have it. So, in first we have 1010. 2nd, Deflated Wee. In 3rd we got Snacks. 4th, Majestic. 5th, George. 6th, Ross. P7, Aquarius. P8, The Bullet. P9, Rosie. P10, Platty. P11, Nilsa. P12, Greg. P13, Mark. And in last place, P14, we got Chelsea. That will be the starting grid for the feature race. For the sprint race, the first 10 places will be reverse grid. So there we have it. 1010 gets his pole position. With next to him, Deflated Wee. With the first 7 places all within a little less than 2/10 of a second. So that should be very interesting, and let's see if we can have a very close race. Starting of course with the sprint race. And there we have it. The rain is falling. Yeah, I really enjoyed that qualifying session, and looking at the rain, It should be a very interesting sprint race. So, like I said before, we don't have a 5 minute break between the qualifying and sprint race like we normally have between qualifying and the race. But after this sprint race, we have a 5 minute break. And let's go to the grid where we go through the drivers on the different positions in this formation lap. So with the reverse grid, we have Platty, who takes the pole position. Bolosi in second. The Bullet comes in third with Aquarius in P4. P5 is there for Ross, followed by George. P7 for Majestic and P8 for Snacks, the both teammates. P9 is there for Deflated Wii and P10 is there for 1010. P11 there for Lil Sam, who already crashed out on the warm-up lap. P12 will there be for Greg, Mark D, P13 and P14 for Chelsea. Retired from this warm-up lap, so is already on the starting grid where the drives are rolling up to. So let's see if we can get a clean race. All drivers watch out for turn 1. Let's have a good race together. And let's hope that it will be so close together as the qualifying is. With Platty almost losing it. Drivers are forming up the starting grid, and when all drivers are locked in, we are going. First, Platty, of course, in pole position. Let's wait when the drivers are locked in, so we can get a good starting position. And we have a good start from the Bullet, who's taking 2 positions and is in front and can get into turn 1. Behind him, Ross and Platty, and Ross is taking 3 positions in the start. And it looks like we have a pretty clean start with all drivers are getting away. In front we have the Bullet with Ross. Aquarius and Deflated Piece looks to be fighting side by side, and Aquarius get placed back. Ooh, a little bit of oversteer in that corner, and he lost a few places. But he didn't have the best start we could wish for. And Ross is pretty close, and Boom! He gave that position back. The bullet lost that position to Ross, who's pulling out a gap, and Chelsea crashed out of the Ascari chicane, and we got a virtual safety car. All drivers have to stick to or stay below a certain delta, and when they are above that delta, when the safety car is going, they will have a penalty. Losing a little bit of ground to the cars in front of him, with the bullet is in a few seconds, within half a second, and we got Ross, who gets a drive-through penalty because he was above the delta when the virtual safety car left. So Ross have to do a drive-through penalty within 2 laps. Platty is in second, so the bullet has lost place to Platty. Will it dry up before the end of the race, or will we have a completely dry race? Drivers are on the medium compound tires. We have a fight on our end, and Ross is taking his drive-through penalty, and he gets also a penalty for speeding into the pit lane. All the drivers are putting in fastest laps, and we have an attack from Deflated Wee on the bullet. And he makes it stick and going into the first chicane. What a great move by the bullet, by Deflated Wee. And Bloisje retired. It looks like he crashed coming out of the Ascari chicane. And we got another safety car, virtual safety car. Let's hope that there are no drivers that will pick up a drive-through penalty this time. The whole field's still pretty close together. Majestic gets the drive-through penalty at the moment before speeding under the safety car. Field is really settling down with this fight in the front between Deflated Wee and Platty. And Lil Samp lost a lot of places because he's going into the pit, and Majestic gets also a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane, just like Ross did when he had to serve his drive-through penalty. We got another fight on our hands between Snacks, George and Greg, and Platty loses a place on Deflated Wee. Greg defends his position from George and Snacks. In the meantime, the rest of the field is also in a fight, but this fight for third position biggest fight that we have at the moment between Greg, George, Snacks, and 1010 is also closing into this fight. The main fight is between Snacks and George for P4. And can Snacks make the moves? He tries to make the move on the outside, going into the parabolica with 1010 also on the tail, but George gets enough speed going into the corner, but oh, big touch. It looks like Snacks lost it a little bit, going into the parabolica, and Plotty comes into the pit. So we got this whole pack together for driving for P4. Got 1010 in P3 with a small gap to George, who's followed by Snacks, and Dow, and Snacks is followed by Aquarius and Mark D. He left the session, also already retired. The fight for P3. It looks like the fight for P4, with Snacks trying it again on the outside of George, going into the parabolica, and again he comes in short, but can he get in a good slipstream to try it on the straight, start-finish straight? We have a yellow flag in sector 3 for, I believe, the bullet. Side by side going into the first chicane, leaving enough space for each other. In the meantime, Lil Samp is putting in the fastest lap of the race in the 1:32.9. It looks to me that it's drying out, and maybe it's dry at the moment. So George gets his position back from Snacks. And behind that we have to fight from between Mark D and Aquarius. Can Aquarius keep his position, or will Mark make the move? And Mark stays behind, with in the meantime Deflated we putting in the 131.5. Gets in front of Aquarius, and can Aquarius stay within the DRS range? In the meantime, Majestic puts in the fastest lap of the race in 1:30.8, so the track is getting drier at the moment. And Aquarius was in front, but Mark D defends his position well. And for the second place, we got 1010 fighting with Greg. All drivers in front, winning a lot of positions. That's a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. And is in the meantime is in 8th position. And 10-10 make a move and goes into second. Can he stay in second? Going into the... And Snacks is also attacking Greg. Greg lost 2 positions in the start-finish straight. And Deflated Wii seems untouchable going into the lap 8 of the sprint race. 10-10 is in a fight with Snacks and keeps his position in front of Snacks, who is really pushing. And Snacks, Greg and George are in this fight for P3, and who of them will get up at the end. Let's see how this will unfold until the end of the race. Snacks defends his position at the moment. Bit of time, and the fight for the podium is between Deflated Wii is in first, followed by 10-10, who is in a fight with Snacks. A little bit behind is George fighting with Greg for P4. With Aquarius, who is within a second of Mark D, followed by Ross, who has penalty, 8-second penalty, and we have a yellow flag in sector 2, and it looks like 10-10 spun out, and Mark D is getting in front of 10-10, and 10-10 loses a lot of places at the moment. So we got Deflated Wii in P1, P2 for Snacks, and 10-10 retired its car. It looks like coming out of the Ascari chicane, he probably lost it. Second to last lap of this race. We got Deflated Wii in P1, followed by a long way back, followed by Snacks, who is followed by a 1.2 second gap by George. Greg is within a second of George, so can he get closer by, or did he ask too much of his tires? Is a little bit further back and in a fight with Aquarius, and they keep each other alive, and Aquarius into the Lesmos, they giving each other enough space for this fight. Ross gets through them and gets into P5, but he has an 8-second penalty, so, and the fight is still going on between Aquarius and Mark D. like Aquarius has won the fight for P6. If he's looks like he's getting a little bit of room. In the meantime, we got deflated. We at the end of his lap going into the Parabolica and taking the victory for the sprint race. Snacks is coming in P2, followed by George, followed by Greg. Ross with an 8-second penalty, but can't keep it. Aquarius comes in P5, P6 is for Mark D, Ross P7, Patch comes in P8 and will serve a 5-second penalty. P9 probably will be Lil Samp, but coming over the line, Platty, and followed by the Bullet in P11. 10, Bloisy and Chelsea didn't finish this race. So there we have it. For the sprint race of the Formula 2. Again, there we have it. The results of the sprint race from the Monza Grand Prix. In first place we got Deflated Wee. Second, Snacks. In P3 we got George. P4 we got Greg. P5 Aquarius. P6 Mark D. P7 Ross. And in P8 we got Majestic. The Samp comes in P9. P10 is there for Platty, P11 for the Bullet, and 10-10 didn't finish. Bloisy and Chelsea also didn't finish the sprint race. We got a 5-minute break after the sprint race. I have a short break. I will be right back. Right in time, I'm back. So we get our formation lap in for a feature race, which would take us 15 laps around the Monza circuit. So with qualifying, 10-10 put in the fastest lap after qualifying and puts him in first place, followed by Deflated Wee, who took the sprint race, who was followed by Snacks, would, who would come in second. Majestic comes in fourth. P5 is there for George. P6 is there for Ross, followed by Aquarius, who's followed by the Bullet. Loisy comes in P9. P10 is there for Platty, who's followed in P11 by Lil Samp. P12 for IIRL Greg. Mark D comes in P13, and in P14 and in last place is Chelsea. Snacks and Majestic already on the starting grid, waiting for the rest of the drivers to in their positions, with 10-10 in P1, P2 Deflated Wee, second row the teammates of Snacks and Majestic. So let's see if we can have an exciting feature race. All the lights on, and we're off, and we have a great start from 10-10 and Deflated Wee. Majestic couldn't get off the line that quick, and going into the first corner, Deflated Wee and 10-10 are side by side, and Deflated Wee comes in first and got a little bit of a wiggle coming out of the turn, and 10-10 is in front again. And how long can they keep up side by side? Getting a lot of time. A lot of time for. They're still side by side. Going into the second Lesmo, and 10-10 is in front, and Deflated Wee is in. Ross comes in P3, followed by Snacks, and it's all so close together. We got a yellow flag in sector 3. It looks like Aquarius lost it over there, and Mark D retired. What happened? Loisy is in P13, and we got another virtual safety car. Let's hope that there won't be any drivers that will be speeding under the safety car.